I'd just like to make a point of clarification to Minister Chan in relation to what he just said. The speeches that I made in November when we had the debate on the Constitution Amendment were speeches in support of the Workers' Party's position for an appointed president, for reverting to an appointed president and an elected Senate. They were not offering specific suggestions about campaigning procedures for an elected president. I was not agreeing with the notion that we should continue to elect the president, and here are my suggestions for the procedures to run that campaign. They were supporting an appointed president, and I would make the point, since it was brought up by Minister Chan, I would make the observation that the Constitutional Commission agreed with that point as well.
I thank Mr. Leon Perera for your clarifications. I'm just a bit puzzled. You said that the November speeches were in support of the appointed president. Was that what you mentioned just now? I thought the November debate was about the Senate. How does the appointed president and
the Workers'
Senate
Party's proposal
work?
was for an appointed president and elected Senate to exercise the custodial powers over civil service appointments and reserves that the elected president currently holds. So, in fact, you are setting that out as a contradiction when there's no contradiction at all. We argued then for reversion to an appointed president and an elected Senate to handle the custodial role that the elected president has.
So can I have on record that you are now proposing that we have an appointed president and a Senate? Is that correct? That's correct, right? Okay. So never mind. Today is not the time.
Not only is it correct, it's what we've argued all along, and it's what we argued in November.
Okay. 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 So then let me ask. But you would agree with me that we want a depoliticized president to the extent that our efforts can, because your line of questioning during November was that we try our best to have a president that can act as a unifying figure for our country. Is that correct? Do you share that perspective, that we would like a president that can unify us and be depoliticized to the extent possible?
I fully agree with the goal, and I think we do not disagree on the goal of having a unifying president as a symbol for Singapore. But what we disagree about is an elected presidency.
Okay.
We argued then, and I argue again, that an election inevitably has a tendency to politicize the office of the president. Yes. An appointed president, like what we had in the past with President Yusof Ishak, and what the Constitutional Commission itself called for, is a better thing for Singapore.
Okay. I understand you. So you want to appoint a president and a Senate, but as we have gone through in November, that would also have the same risk of politicization, maybe 8 times over. But we are not to go there today. But what we can agree, I think, on both sides of the House is that, as you have mentioned, to the extent possible, we want a mechanism, an election process that allows us to have a unifying figure and a custodial figure. And that's why we have proposed the slight adjustment to the campaigning methods today. And I think we can agree on that.
Ms. Sylvia Lim.
Madam, just to clarify once again, what Minister just said is not correct. We do not agree to an election process for the President.
What did you say? You asked me.
Okay. I think today is not the occasion for us to go through this again. I think we can all check the Hansard as to what was said between you and the rest of the debate. Today we are here to put in place the nuts and bolts on how we can get an elected presidency working.